this video we will be discussing Marvel Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfects. Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects is a fighting game developed by Nihilistic Software and published by EA for the PlayStation 2, GameCube, Xbox, Nintendo DS, and the PSP on September 20th of 2005. This was supposed to be the first of several fighting games that were to be developed by EA with characters from the Marvel comics. Hopes were high as they entered into this partnership. This game was set to start a trend that would create new Marvel heroes and add a batch of new superheroes created by EA, with a comic series being released that tied into the game, which was written by Greg Pak. 6 issues were released. However, this prequel comic contradicted and did not align well with Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects game. Nihilistic Software, which was founded in 1998 by Ray Gresco, Robert Hubner, and Steve Tietz in Marin County, California, were also known for developing games like Conan in 2007, PlayStation Move Heroes in 2011, and Call of Duty Declassified in 2012. Now, in the same year, Nihilistic Software went defunct. Marvel Rise of the Imperfects tells the story of aliens invading Earth and killing some of Earth's toughest superheroes, like Captain America, Hulk, and the Punisher. The remaining heroes still fight to save Earth. Some of these include Spider-Man, The Thing, Daredevil, and Wolverine. However, some of our own heroes are being mind-controlled by an alien device, and we must first defeat them to free them, which is and was a cool concept at the time. The reception for Marvel Nemesis was not what EA expected. On Metacritic, it has a 53 out of 100 for the PS2, a 58 out of 100 for the Xbox, and a terrible 34 out of 100 for the DS. Many rumors regarding the release of the game mentioned that EA forced developers to rush the game for profit. Now, this is only a rumor, but with the many stories coming out in recent years around this, we can only assume it's more than likely true. This type of rush for profit has happened a lot, especially with Cyberpunk 2077, which is in our recent memory. Some of the criticisms around the game include bad storytelling, an uninteresting and limited multiplayer, and the AI of the game was spamming and not diverse enough in terms of combat or in how they approached battle situations. However, the game does hold a 7.6 out of 10 from user reviews on Metacritic. Now, naturally in this section we talk about sales of the game. However, I cannot find anything on any platform to see how well it performed in terms of copies sold. If you or anyone knows the sales number, feel free to comment down below and I will pin it. Now, moving on. The gameplay for Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects was dubbed bad and boring. I would say due to some of the reasons I mentioned earlier. The AI was a big factor in making the game feel this way. The fighting style wasn't like the one you'd see in a Mortal Kombat or in DC's Injustice series. It was more towards what you would do in a Super Smash Bros. Game. It was a 3D fighting game that would allow you greater movement and give you the ability to explore the area around you a bit more. The game also had a versus mode where you could play against a friend with another controller on the couch. However, the character's menu was rather empty due to the fact that you needed to play through the entire campaign to unlock all of the characters. For many, it was more of a slog to get through the campaign, so that was difficult to do. However, the game performed better on handhelds like the PSP. Certain characters were added at the expense of others for that version of the game. And you didn't have to go through much of the cutscenes and story on the PSP version. It dropped you right in the arena ready to fight. And many people liked that and enjoyed it much more. Now, my personal experience with Marvel Nemesis is, well, I'd say very different from what I've described in this particular video. I was a kid completely in love with Spider-Man, who at the time was the GOAT, Tobey Maguire. And I remember just loving Marvel, the X-Men, Hulk, the Punisher, Fantastic Four, and Daredevil. It was crazy as a kid to see a game cover with some of my favorite heroes, some of the ones that I just mentioned now. So I really couldn't care less about the story plot or how the critics reviewed it, or if it bombed, or if it sold well or not. I just wanted to play with my favorite superheroes, kick ass and save the world. So to me, it was the best game in the world. And I'll be honest, the tone the game set with the special report broadcast that shows the death of Captain America, the freaking Hulk, and the absolute badass Punisher scared the hell out of me. It made me want to cry. I couldn't believe that these heroes died and were defeated in battle. But honestly, that's all I needed. I was ready to kick ass and save the world from this threat. I love Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects. It was a gem to me. The intro music is etched in my brain till the day I die. That will be their legacy with me. Now, this is a new section that we're adding here in Retro Chamber, and it's called Can It Be Made Today? Now, I feel like a fighting game that still has a 3D feel to it with new heroes and a completely new original take on some of these characters would be awesome to see, especially now with the craze of superheroes and everything that's going on in the world. Today, it seems like comics and heroes are as prevalent as they've ever been. I believe if a game like Marvel Nemesis came out now, it would do extremely well with the right approach and not rushing the developers. It would have great potential. We would need to have many more playable characters though, and make the story a little bit bigger and consistent with each other. I mean, could you imagine, say, if they had 30 full-on heroes and villains? It would be madness. And I know this is mostly a dream, but I would love to see it. What do you think? Could this game be made today? To wrap this up, Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects is a game that had massive potential, which was squandered due to a tale we hear very often in the gaming industry: greed for money and profit, and a knack for rushing the development of a would-be great game. For some, this will be a game that destroyed a partnership between EA and Marvel. For others, this game is nostalgic and takes them back to a time where everything was fun and good. I know every game can't be a hit, but sometimes I wish they could be. This is a game I learned lots about during the research process. Sometimes as a kid, I think that these games were loved, only to realize that the feeling isn't mutual. And that is a shame. I do hope that we get to see a spiritual successor to this awesome childhood memory at the very least, or something close to it. Thank you for tuning in to this new series on the channel titled Retro Chamber, where we look at some of the best classic games made, and we get to learn a little bit more of the history of what these games went through and some of the things they achieved. Here we learn together, and I thank you for your time. If you have any suggestions of any older games you would like to see featured in Retro Chamber, please let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video.